It will depend on the situation you find yourself. Yeah. But one of the greatest situation that it's very bad, it's economic situation because it affects virtually everything that you do in your life. Economic situation. When you find yourself in a very bad economic situation, financial situation, it affects even your relationship with God, with people, with your wife, with your children, with your relations, even in your immediate family. It affects the way you, in fact, it affects you as a person and how you can navigate in thinking about possibilities. Yes.
Well, in such situation, like um, such a situation, I will advise such a person. Eh? If like a youth that is still strong, I work in 3 places a day. You understand, to cope. You understand, to make ends meet. Because 20,000 can't take it anywhere. 100,000 can't take it anywhere. You understand? So the best thing for what we want to do is enterprise, or you work in 3 places.
For me, I would have feel all advice, because when you're talking about surviving mechanism, there's this issue where the government puts some policies in place that can make individuals, like for instance, if you are an entrepreneur, you have a business that you're doing, and it has to do with like power. You have a lot of things that do with what I mean power, and you don't see the power generation. So how did you cope with the business? So it's totally like a black hat, if you ask me, because if you want to survive, you have to survive based on the fact that okay, you have something to do. But how did you go about doing it when those things that you're supposed to use it to do, they are not there? So I think you fall back to government. So an individual, you can actually be working very hard. But what are you working? How are you working the hard? How are you working the this thing where you know that at the end of the day nothing come out very important? So I think you fall back to the government. That the government should wake up from their slumber and give a definite definition on how to go about doing things.
It depends on the situation that you find yourself. And I think that part of the things that is very, very tough, part of the very strong toxic situation is economic situations that when you find yourself in economic situation, then it is very, very bad. The coping mechanism, the first thing I will recommend is honestly God. I don't think in my assessments, I don't think that this whole universe and world and system came together on its own. I think that there's a being behind it. And that being is God. And then we are right now in the Lent and then in the Ramadan season of fasting. So in a country like Nigeria that is said to be religious and sometimes over-religious, it's been the saving grace for us in cushioning the kind of tempers that would have risen over and above every kind of situation we found ourselves. After the Civil War, I was not present, I was not born at that time, but then after the Civil War, I imagine that the little trigger and the things that we have gone over time after that time, it would have been worse for us if not for God.
You understand? Let's face facts. The people are not happy. There's nothing happening in Nigeria. So when you want to cope with that kind of situation, I think Nigeria should develop a kind of a system where we have a kind of vocational institutions where the youth of today are impacted with skills, vocation, so that they can survive. You understand? Let me ask you a question. Today, in this country you see today, you want to eat in any maybe local restaurant, it's worth 2,000 naira. Then if you are spending 6,000 naira every day for feeding, do you think 100,000 will take somebody somewhere? 6,000 naira every day times 30 days. How much is that?